In this session, we will learn about the rules of indefinite articles, as in where to use indefinite articles. If you had seen my last video where I spoke about the basics of articles, you must have learned that indefinite articles, there are two indefinite articles, a and an. Now we use a or a in front of words that begin to sound with a consonant sound. For example, a biscuit, a cookie, a cake, a cabbage, a bird, a bus, a train, anything. And an is used before words that begin to sound with a vowel. For example, an aeroplane, an engine, an umbrella. Now we need to know that when should we use the indefinite articles. So how do we know where to use indefinite articles? So there are certain rules that will tell you that where to use indefinite articles. So rule number 1 is when you are referring to something which is unspecified. When you are referring to something which is an unspecified object or a person. For example, Leonard ate a cookie. Now, the cookie is an unspecified one. There is nothing specific about the cookie. It's just that Leonard ate a cookie. That's it. If I would want to make it specific, I would perhaps say that Leonard ate the cookie which was left on the table. Right? So, the other example, we can take another example like Raj. Raj ate an apple. So, Raj ate an apple. There is nothing specific about this apple. So, rule number 1 is when you want to mean or when you want to refer to something which is unspecific. Rule number 2, when you are introducing an object or a person to the listener for the first time. For example, if I tell you, Priya saw a girl. So I just introduced the fact that Priya saw a girl. I introduced a girl to you. You of course know who Priya is, right? Which is why I just said that Priya saw a girl. Now the girl has already been introduced to you. If I say another sentence about the girl, you do not need to know who the girl is because the girl has already been introduced to you. For example, Priya saw a girl, the girl was very tall, right? So it's only when I introduce the girl to you for the first time, I used the indefinite article a. Another example is, I found an umbrella. The umbrella had a hole in it. So I introduced the umbrella to you for the first time with an indefinite article, an. I found an umbrella. Now the next thing I tell you about the umbrella is the umbrella had a hole in it. Now rule number 3. Rule number 3 is we use indefinite articles with nouns which are singular and countable. What is a singular noun? Anything that is just one. For example, a bird, an egg, an aeroplane, a bus, a dog, a cat, anything that is one. So we are not using the plural form of it. We do not use indefinite articles with plural forms. For example, we will not say our dogs, our buses, our biscuits. We do not use indefinite articles with plural forms. Also, we use indefinite articles with countable nouns, something that we can count. Now, what are some examples of uncountable nouns? For example, salt. We do not really count salt, do we? Sugar. For example, cheese. We do not count cheese. We do not say a cheese. It's a slice of cheese, okay? So, we do not use indefinite articles with plurals and uncountable nouns. We always use them with singular and countable nouns. For example, let me just refer to the screen. I saw a bird. So, I saw a bird. I can count the bird. I can count many birds. But here we are referring to one bird, right? I saw a bird. The other example can be Howard ate an egg. So he ate an egg. Eggs are countable and in this case it's singular noun. Okay. Number 4, when we are indicating the name of a profession. For example, I am a teacher, or he is an accountant. So we use indefinite article before the names of a profession. John is a doctor. Lisa is a marine biologist. Okay, it's used before the name of a profession. Now there are exceptions to this rule. For example, he is an accountant. But when the context changes, we might want to use a definite article. For example, suppose there is an accountant in an office who has won an award. Now what if I am telling it to somebody who doesn't know this fact? I will say, he is the accountant who won the award last year. Okay, so I am in this case referring to the accountant in a specific way, that this is the particular accountant who won the award last year. Moving on to the next one, rule number 5. When you are referring to the nationality or religion of any one person, we use the indefinite article. For example, John is a British. So what we mean here is John is a British citizen, right? A British national. Raj is a Hindu. Please notice that when we are referring to the nationality or religion of one particular person, if there were two persons, say Raj and Smita, so we would say Raj and Smita are Hindus. We will not in that case use the indefinite article because Hindus is plural, right? And we do not use indefinite articles with plural nouns. So John is a British, Raj is a Hindu, Tanaka is a Japanese, Muhammad is a Muslim, and likewise, but never with plural forms. So Muhammad and Ahmed are Muslims, not are Muslims. Now moving on to rule number 6. When we are talking about the names of days of a week, which is not particular or special or important in any way, we will use an indefinite article. For example, I was born on a Saturday. I went to the shop on a Thursday. So it was just a Thursday. I don't really remember which Thursday it was. I just remember it was a Thursday. Another example is that, is it okay if I come on a Monday? So I'm asking, is it okay if I come on a Monday? That Monday can be any Monday. It can be the next Monday. It can be the Monday of the next week, of the next month. It can be a Monday after 2 months. So there is no specific Monday. Can I come on a Monday? Again, I saw the circus on a Thursday. So I do not know which Thursday. It was just a Thursday. There is nothing specific about it. But if that Thursday was somehow important or worth remembering, then I would have remembered. For example, I went to see the circus on the Thursday when Sachin Tendulkar scored a century. That tells you that I remember that particular day as a special day because Sachin Tendulkar scored a century. Right? So other people, the listener will also know which particular Thursday you are talking about. It can sound a bit confusing. If you have any doubts, you can leave a comment below and I will answer, okay? Now, let's move on to rule number 7. Don't worry, there are only 9 rules, so we have 3 more rules to go, right? Rule number 7. Now for rule number 7, this can be a bit tricky to make you understand. Rule number 7, you have to remember 2 words. One is such and the other is what. Now after these words, when there is a singular or countable noun, you have to use a before that noun. After these 2 words, such and what. Example, he is such a gentleman. Okay, such a gentleman. Again, What a lovely day. What a lovely day. So after such and what, there are two nouns, two countable nouns in singular form again. For example, a gentleman and a day. So such a gentleman and what a lovely day. Now, when there is an uncountable noun, we will not use this rule. We will not use indefinite article then. For example, it was such bad weather that we had to cancel the trip. So weather is not countable. Another word, fun. Fun is not countable. It's an uncountable noun. So when we say that, oh, we had such fun at the party, we will not use a before fun. Rule number 8 is use the indefinite article when you are referring to one unit of measurement. For example, I need a kilo of sugar. I need a milligram of salt in this recipe. I need a pound of potatoes. I need a kilo of apples for the jam. So, when you are referring to one unit of measurement, use the indefinite article. Now, rule number 9. What does rule number 9 say? Rule number 9 talks about using multiple countable nouns in a sentence. Multiple nouns means more than one type of nouns. Okay? Like apples, oranges, and say bananas in a sentence. But in singular sense. So, not apples, oranges, and bananas. Apple, orange, and banana. There are 3 different nouns in their singular form. For example, I ate an apple, an orange, and a banana. Again, I bought an apple, a pear, and an orange. So we use the indefinite article before each nouns when we use multiple nouns in a sentence. Multiple nouns, different types of nouns. For example, oranges, bananas, pears, pineapples, but in singular form. Orange, banana, apple, pineapple, etc. Indefinite articles can mean different things in different contexts. First, it can mean something unspecific. Okay, for example, she bought a hat. So, unspecific, nothing particular about the hat. Again, if you want to make it specific, you say that she bought a hat. She lost the hat yesterday. Number 2, when we want to introduce an object or a person. For example, my friend has a dog. Okay, so I introduce the dog for the first time. My friend has a dog. The dog is brown in color. Now, number 3. Number 3 is you can use indefinite article to mean per or each. For example, oranges are 20 pounds a kilo. Means oranges are 20 pounds per kilo, or each kilo of orange costs 20 pounds. Okay, so it means per or each. Indefinite article can also mean any. For example, I don't want a cat in my house. What I mean is, I don't want any cat in my house. Okay, for example, I don't want a gun in my house. So I don't want any gun in my house. Indefinite article can also mean one. For example, I have a hat and 2 raincoats. So I have 1 hat and 2 raincoats. Okay, so it means one. For example, 12 inches make a foot. Means 12 inches make 1 foot. Indefinite article can also mean a certain person in a vague way. Again, this sounds a bit confusing, but let me try and explain. James Roy is suspected by the police. So, there is a certain James Roy. Okay, I don't know the James Roy. He's vague to me. I don't know which James Roy. I don't know any James Roy. But all I know is there is a particular person called James Roy whom the police is suspecting. Okay? A James Roy is suspected by the police. So I don't know who that James Roy is, but I know there is a certain James Roy who is suspected by the police. But I don't know him. He's vague to me. He's vague to the person I'm talking to. So indefinite article will be used to refer to a certain person in a vague way. Okay? Indefinite articles are also used with numbers. For example, let's look at the chart. It says 5.5. Okay? 1/3 or a third. I want a third of salt from the bag. 100 means 100. We just learned that a means 1. 1,000. 1,000,000. Now, when we are talking about 1.5 million, we can say 1.5 million. 1.5 million. Or 1.5 million. 1.5 million. 500,000. 500,000. A quarter. A dozen. A score. Indefinite articles are also used with time. Let's see how they are used with time. 15 minutes. When we want to say 15 minutes, the other way of saying it is a quarter of an hour. A quarter of an hour. 30 seconds. 30 seconds can also be said as half a minute. Half a minute. 1 minute and 30 seconds can be said as a minute and a half. And a half refers to half of 1 minute. So a minute and a half. Similarly with hour, half an hour. 30 minutes can be said as half an hour. 1.5 hours or 1 hour 30 minutes can be said as an hour and a half. So these were the rules and instances where we use indefinite articles. If you want to know the rules of definite articles, refer to my other video. You can also look at the basics of English articles and where not to use articles. I will also be uploading a practice sheet for articles of 200 questions. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell to get notified when I upload them. Let me know in comment section if you have any doubts. Thank you for watching.